If you're an established towing business running Google Ads, then this video is for you. I'll cover some of the common mistakes even experienced towing companies can make that can limit performance, increase costs, or reduce call quality, and what you should be paying attention to instead. So let's get started. So guys, we're in our Google Ads dashboard, and if you're an established towing business and you've been running Google Ads for a while, in this video we're going to go through 6 mistakes established towing businesses can make when running Google Ads. This is one of our example account, and in the last 60 days, as you can see, we have generated 910 phone calls and around 564 conversions, and the cost per conversion is around $18.97. And if you calculate cost per phone call, that would be actually cheaper, but this is calculating with cost per conversion, which is more accurate way of calculation. Otherwise, the cost per conversion would be around, let's say, $12 or $13, which would be cheaper than this one. But this is more accurate calculation, I think, because here with the number of conversions, if somebody calls 3 times, 2 times, we're trying to calculate it as one person. Or if there is a phone call less than 10 seconds or 20 seconds, we're not trying to include that in the conversion section. So that's why the number of conversions can be less than the number of phone calls. And this is the cost per conversion number with these types of conversions. And you can see where I've helped different local service businesses to generate phone calls with Google Ads. And you can see more of this kind of case studies by visiting my website as well. So the first mistake towing business owners can make with Google Ads, if they want to scale, they may think their cost per conversion is going to stay the same. Yes, it can stay the same, but you need to monitor that and you need to control that. Otherwise, Google Ads might increase your cost per conversion. So let's say you have been spending $100 per day, and suddenly you decided to increase that budget to $200 per day, and your cost per conversion immediately might go up, let's say to $30 or $40, and you need to monitor that. And of course, it might need some learning period as well for that. But if you don't control that, if you don't monitor that, the cost per conversion can go up. And if you want to scale it, sometimes naturally, you might need to pay a little bit more to Google to scale further. So let's say it is $18 or $19 right now. And once you scale, and let's say if you want to get 3-4 times more phone calls, the cost per conversion might go up to, let's say, $20. But make sure that the cost per conversion don't go up dramatically high. Let's say, as I told, $35 or $40. And that's what you need to control if you want to scale the number of phone calls and if you want to increase your daily budget with Google Ads. A quick reminder, I've generated thousands of phone calls using Google Ads. I made a checklist of things to check in your Google Ads account. Focus it on generating phone calls. If you want it, click the link in the description below and I'll send it to you for free. And the next thing, if you have been running Google Ads for a while and your daily budget is at least, let's say, $150, $200 per day, in your search terms report, you might have some irrelevant search terms. And it can happen, and you need to add negative keywords frequently. You should review your search terms report frequently. So we're going to go to the search terms section, as you can see from here. And the time range, as you saw, it was the last 60 days. And if I'm going to show you how many negative keywords I've added in that period, as you can see, it is around 698 keywords. It is around little over 10 keywords per day. So you might have some irrelevant search terms along the way, and you should keep adding negative keywords frequently so that you may not see those kind of low quality keywords in the future. As you can see, even these kind of negative keywords generated 44 clicks and generated 7.5 conversions. And I don't think they are high quality conversions. And even if they have generated some conversions, I would still add them as negative keywords. So you should add negative keywords frequently if somebody is looking for other companies, like your competitor names such as AAA, or they're looking for irrelevant services that you don't offer. You need to add those kind of terms as frequently as possible. And the next thing on our list, established towing business companies that want to scale further, or they might have a little bit bigger budget. They might use the old type of campaigns they have been using since they started. So if they want to scale further and if you need more search volume, obviously you need a different type of campaign, which can help you to scale further and to generate more phone calls. So you need to work on your campaigns as well, such as the types of keywords you're using or the bid strategy you are using or the types of search terms you're getting. You need to make sure that the type of campaign you are using right now should easily help you to scale further if you want to increase your budget or if you want to get more phone calls with Google Ads. So if you have, let's say, started generating phone calls with the initial version of your campaigns and you have been getting phone calls with that campaign for a long time, and if you want to scale further and generate more phone calls, you need to change certain settings. so that you're gonna get more search volume with your existing campaign, and it can help you to scale further without increasing the cost per phone call too much. And that means you need to optimize your campaigns if you want to scale further. And the next thing on our list, established towing businesses, let's say they may generate at least 10, 20, 30 phone calls per day. And for them, they may think the number of phone calls is the most important thing. But instead, the number of high quality phone calls are the most important things. Maybe out of 20 phone calls you're getting, 10 of them are spam phone calls, which are very low quality phone calls. And your goal should be to reduce the number of spam phone calls and to increase the number of high quality phone calls. So let's see that example. So this is our example call details report. And as you can see, in the last 30 days, we have generated 296 phone calls. And if you're going to see the higher quality phone calls from here, let's say more than 60-second phone calls are higher quality phone calls. And 178 of those phone calls are higher quality phone calls in the last 30 days. So of course, we're not including the missed calls as well. Missed calls might have 0-second duration. And once they call them back, it might turn out to be a higher quality phone call, but still, let's say we're going to consider the phone calls more than 60 seconds, and most likely they're going to be higher quality phone calls. And you should analyze these kind of phone calls and where they're coming from exactly. For example, the type of campaigns, or you can add more columns here, like exact specific target keyword that is generating this specific phone call. And if you can identify certain patterns, for example, certain target keywords are generating a lot of spam phone calls, for example, then that means you might consider pausing that or limiting the search volume of that target keyword. Or let's say if you're getting a lot of high quality phone calls from certain campaign, you can increase the budget of that campaign. On paper, certain campaign might look like it is generating a lot of conversions, but if you analyze the call details report, the quality of those conversions or the quality of those phone calls might be actually lower quality phone call. But by looking at this report, you can have more clearer picture which campaign is generating more higher quality phone calls than the other types of campaigns, and you can allocate your budget accordingly for higher quality campaigns. And the next mistake in our list that the towing companies can make, they might use the same type of bid strategy at every spend level. So let's say initially you have started with $50 and you have increased that to $200 and $300 after that. And at each spend level, you may need to change your bid strategy. For example, initially you may have used manual CPC or maximize clicks. And then later you may have changed that to maximize conversions or target CPA. And also you can change your cost per conversion as well. So depending on the ad spend, you need to choose the correct bidding strategy. So for example, if you're spending $300 per day or $200 per day, using manual CPC or maximize clicks might not be that productive. And choosing the correct bidding strategy with more budgets can be especially important because you have generated some data, and with historical conversion data, you need to be choosing more realistic cost per conversion target. And for that, your bidding strategy can help. And the next thing in our list, let's say you have been spending some budget and you have increased your budget, and after some time it might look like you're not getting more phone calls. Or if you are increasing the budget, the cost per phone call seems like getting more. Let's say your cost per phone call before was $15. And if you increase the budget, you are still receiving the same number of phone calls per day. Let's say if you were getting 15 phone calls per day, you're still receiving 15 phone calls per day. But your cost per conversion is increasing, or your cost per phone call is increasing. That means the local market might have hit the demand ceiling, which means there might be shortage of demand in your local area. But certain businesses may think if they spend more, they may get more phone calls. And instead, their cost per phone call might increase. And you should be really, really careful and need to monitor that so that your cost per phone calls won't get expensive. And even if you spend more, they might not bring you more phone calls after certain range. And you should monitor that. And if you can see this pattern, you should be really, really careful. Instead of increasing the budget, you can consider expanding your service area to nearby locations. And that would be a better approach rather than paying more for the same number of phone calls you can get. So guys, these are 6 mistakes established towing businesses can make while running Google Ads. And there can be other mistakes as well in different situations, but these are some of the mistakes certain established towing businesses can make. After generating thousands of phone calls, I created a free checklist for Google Ads accounts with the focus of generating phone calls. If you want to get that checklist for free, you can click the link in the description below. Or if you guys want my help to generate high quality phone calls for your towing business, you can also apply to work with me and I can help you manage your Google Ads campaigns. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching this video and see you guys in my other videos.